Arsenal. Somehow it has happened again. Another captaincy problem. And at this stage, it's becoming quite pathetic. Because looking at it, it has officially been released. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang stripped of Arsenal captaincy and ruled out of West Ham United match. Now, as I said, this has become quite pathetic. Because this is not the first time over the last few years that Arsenal have had captaincy problems. Let alone is it the first time they've had captaincy problems with Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. And as I said, it has become quite pathetic because Arsenal, you're not just one of the biggest clubs in England. You're one of the biggest clubs in the entire world. In fact, people who don't even watch football, who watch other sports from other areas of the world, if you mention Arsenal, they'll know the name from having captains like Patrick Vieira to having captaincy problems now with Granit Xhaka and now Aubameyang. Something has gone seriously wrong with this club because, I mean, if you just read the title alone, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang stripped of Arsenal captaincy and ruled out of West Ham United match. To me, that strikes a serious problem because you're ruling out a 20-goal-a-season kind of striker versus a team that is competing for the Champions League this season. As I said, something has gone seriously wrong with Arsenal this season. As I said, in today's video, we're going to be looking at this article. We're going to be looking at why Aubameyang has been stripped of this captaincy. We're going to be discussing whether it was the correct decision or not. And at the end of the day, we're going to be discussing what's the next step for Arsenal? Who's going to be their next captain? Because that is something I'm seriously curious about. Because to me, there is not a single leader in this Arsenal team, which, as I said, should strike fear into Arsenal fans' eyes. Because, as I said, they used to have the likes of Patrick Vieira, some serious leaders in their squad, and now they've got nothing, in my opinion. But without wasting any more of your time, let's quickly just look over this article, the reasoning to why he's been stripped of his captaincy, and as I said, maybe discuss who the next captain should be. Which, by the way, yes, I've just realized that I do look like I'm trying to impersonate the likes of Ian Wright. And yes, I know it is an Arsenal video, but I did not try to, which, by the way, I don't know if you can tell who's who. I know we look identical. Maybe the glasses are too much. Let me take the glasses off at least. But looking at this article, as I said, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang stripped of Arsenal captaincy. Aubameyang was not in the Arsenal squad to face Southampton in their 3-0 win over a breach of discipline. We expect all our players, particularly our captain, to work to the rules and standards we have set and agreed. Now that I especially like to hear. Yes, I know, as I said, there's a huge leadership problem in the squad, but it really shows that Arteta, to an extent, as a manager, is not afraid of kicking out anyone. If you breach the rules, you breach the rules, and you have to respect that. Aubameyang used to be a 20-goal-a-season kind of striker, so it really takes some balls to kick a player like that out of the squad. Now, apparently what happened, I've kind of skimmed over this article a bit by myself. I've kind of read over it, and they don't really mention it. Apparently what happened is the fact that Aubameyang went to France. He went to visit his family. Apparently his mother's not doing very well at the moment. First of all, I would like to wish her the best of luck. But apparently Aubameyang stayed too long in France and did not come back to England in the time that was agreed upon between him and Arsenal, and because of that he didn't have enough time to isolate for the Southampton game. Now yes, I know that is a personal dilemma. He obviously went to go visit his mom. As I said, hopefully she's doing a lot better. Hopefully she recovers from whatever the problem is. But as the captain, if you cannot follow the rules that are agreed upon, no matter what the personal circumstance is, if you cannot lead by example, as I said, what are you showing for the rest of the club? Arsenal have not been in a top position for a very long time. So now more than ever, players have to step up to a different level and show that they can carry the club. So if the club captain cannot follow the rules, then who can follow the rules? Who's setting the example there? As I said, yes, I get it. There is a personal dilemma there. Obviously, there were personal reasons. He's making sure that his mother's okay, or whatever the reason was that he stayed in France, obviously with his family. And it does take balls for the captain to, or for the coach to drop a player like that. But as I said, if you cannot follow the rules, then who can follow the rules if the captain cannot do so? And as I said, to an extent, I kind of agree with Arteta for that. There's no player who's been given a special privilege in this club, which I believe is the way to move forward. Whether you're an 18-year-old who's brand new to the squad, or whether you're the 33-year-old captain, if you do not follow the rules, if you do not show up to training, then you do not deserve a place in the squad. And it would be different if he was a different player. It would be different if this was maybe the first time this had happened. But it is not the first time this has happened. I remember last season or a season or two ago, Aubameyang missed a game or two because he was always late to training or he was late to the team bus, stuff like that. So it is not new for Aubameyang to kind of have disciplinary problems with this club. And do you really want a player like that captaining your squad, leading your squad? No, you don't. Looking a bit further into this, once again, we've kind of read over all of that before. The club has also said Aubameyang will not play versus West Ham. Once again, big player missing out on a big game. We expect all our players, particularly our captain, to work to the rules and standards we have set and agreed, the club said in a statement. Once again, you have to respect that. No player is given special privileges. And I agree on that. No player should be given special privileges. Look, I'm a Manchester United fan. From a leadership point of view, yes, I definitely can't talk. Our captain's Harry Maguire. I don't think he should be given a special privilege to stick in the team, especially if he's out of form. There are times where I do believe that Lindelof and Bailey would be our best centre-back partnership. But at the end of the day, at least Manchester United, I would say, has leaders in their squad. From Cristiano Ronaldo, Bruno Fernandes can be a leader, Rashford can be a leader, Scott McTominay can be a leader, Lindelof is the Swedish captain. We've got a lot of leaders in the Manchester United squad, where if I look at Arsenal, I think that is where the serious problem is at the moment, because now that Aubameyang's out, I've got no idea who should lead the squad, and I think Arsenal fans should be worried about that. I mean, just looking at the Arsenal squad right in front of me quickly. I mean, the players in their squad, as I said, out of this top line, maybe Leno is the most eligible to be club captain, except for the fact that he no longer starts for Arsenal, so it can't be him. Ramsdale, once again, not enough experience. I believe one day he could be a brilliant player for the club and could be a brilliant captain, should I say. Tierney, no, not quite there yet, although a brilliant player. Gabriel, no. Rob Holding, no. Cedric Suarez doesn't play enough. Callum Chambers, no. Mari, no. Koscielny, no. Tavares, no. Ben White, maybe in the future, but not yet. I mean, looking at all of these players, Thomas Partey, once again, maybe he could be a good leader, but he is always injured, and that does mean that someone else is going to have to captain anyway. Unfortunately, too injury prone, but as I said, maybe potentially he's played at a top level. He's played for Atletico Madrid in the Champions League. Maybe he's got that experience, but as I said, too injury prone. Bukayo Saka, now funnily enough, although only like 20 years old and probably the biggest leader in this club, I would choose Bukayo Saka before I choose most players in this Arsenal squad to be captain, and that's really saying something about this Arsenal team. We've got Elneny, no. Emil Smith-Rowe, once again, just like Saka. Unfortunately, I mean, two of the youngest players in the squad are probably the most eligible to be captains. We've got Granit Xhaka. You know what? I will say this. Arsenal are most likely going to give Granit Xhaka the captain's armband. He was the captain before Aubameyang was given the captain's armband by Unai Emery. And I have to say, if Arsenal do that, that is a horrific mistake. We obviously saw in the past that Arsenal fans hated Xhaka as captain. Xhaka obviously didn't respect Arsenal fans in return, and I just don't see that relationship there. There's just no loving relationship between Xhaka and Arsenal, in my opinion. I don't think he's a good leader for this Arsenal team. Yes, for Switzerland, he's a terrific player and captain, but he just doesn't have the same effect with Arsenal. So you know what, if Arsenal decide to go down that route, I think they are really, really lost. We've got obviously Niles, no. Lokonga, no. Odegaard, no. We've got all of these players. Lacazette, possibly. I mean, he can be a brilliant player from time to time. Once again, I don't always think he deserves a starting spot in the squad. He's not always that good. So once again, you kind of need a player who's going to play on a regular basis. Aubameyang, obviously no. Pepe, definitely not. Ketia, no. Martinelli, no. I mean, that's the entirety of the Arsenal squad, and as I said, bar maybe Bukayo Saka and Emil Smith-Rowe, there is not a single player I trust here to lead the squad, and that is scary. Arsenal, you definitely need to get something. You need to buy leaders coming this upcoming transfer window. I think the best option you could have had is maybe Aaron Ramsey, although he left for Juventus 2-3 years ago. If you brought a player like him back to Arsenal for 2-3 years as a captain, as the likes of Saka and Emil Smith-Rowe grow a tiny bit older, get a bit more experience, I think that's your best option, because as I said, at the moment, you have no leaders in your squad. Just looking at it a tiny bit further, Arteta's kind of gone over the fact that he doesn't really want to talk about the scenario between him and Aubameyang, the relationship. You're not going to get anything else from me. As I said, point proven. Unfortunately, it happened, Arteta said after the 3-0 win. I explained what happened and the reason he wasn't involved, and that's where I'm going to stay on it. Okay, not going further into detail. This is just what Paul Merson has said, and he's kind of gone on about the likes of just the captaincy in general. As I said, I'm not going to go too much further into that because it's just not a secret. Arsenal, you've had captaincy problems for way too long and you need to sort it out. As I said, West Ham United, big game. Aubameyang used to be a big player, but definitely past the sell-by date. I mean, it would be different if this was the first time he'd done it, but it is not. Yeah. I don't know. It's absolutely horrific situation for a top club like Arsenal to be in. And it's kind of simulated, or it's kind of been symbolic of Arsenal as of late. Not being a top club for a very, very long time. And as I said, having these kind of leadership problems kind of proves it. Kind of shows why they're kind of having problems like this. Hopefully Arteta can sort it out. As I said, I'm a Manchester United fan. I can't talk too much. We've got the likes of Harry Maguire. But you look at clubs and you look at the likes of Fernandinho, or you look at Henderson, and you look at all these brilliant captains who, yes, they don't play on a regular basis, or they don't always play every single game, but they really help lead their squad forward. So for Arsenal to not have a single player in their team who can lead them forward, it's a horrific scenario. But that, ladies and gentlemen, will do it for today's video. I just wanted to keep you updated on the situation, and I want you to put down in the comment section down below, who should Arsenal's next captain be? As I said, to me, maybe Saka is the best option, which, as I said, kind of scary for me to say. Maybe even the likes of Ramsdale's a good option. As I said, Arsenal, you're in a horrific situation at the moment, and hopefully you can get out of it. Guys, don't forget to subscribe down below. I'd love to hit 1,750 subscribers as soon as possible, and also can we get this video to 10 likes. Yeah, as I said, Gunners, you are in a really bad situation, and the Gunners don't seem to be able to fire it off in any single direction. Guys, this has been Finn, FYNN. Thank you so much for watching. Cheers.